Hi, my name is Ruby Bridges. I was born on September 8th, 1954, in Tylertown, Mississippi. My parents' names are Lucille and Avon Bridges. My parents worked as sharecroppers in the town where I was born. A sharecropper farms the land, but they did not own the rights to this land. I'm the oldest of 5 children. At the age of 2, my parents packed up everything we owned to move to New Orleans, Louisiana. They were in search of better opportunities to improve their working and living conditions. After moving to Louisiana, my daddy started working at a gas station, and my mama worked jobs during the night to help provide extra income for our family. We lived in a very tiny apartment when I was younger. I remember playing softball, jumping rope, and climbing trees with my siblings and friends in New Orleans. When I started kindergarten in 1959, I attended a school that was very far away from my home. Each morning and afternoon, I had to walk a long distance to get to and from school. The school district that I attended was segregated. The white students went to one school, and the black students went to my school. Miss King was my kindergarten teacher. I loved Miss King's class. She made learning so much fun. In the middle of the year, Miss King gave us a test. I didn't know this at the time, but that one test would change my life forever. One night, my parents got a call from the school district. The man on the other end told my parents that I was very bright and smart. I was told that I could start attending the all-white school in my town. The man told my parents that I would be one of the students to start the integration process. As my parents hung up the phone, I could feel the tension in the air. My daddy's face was tightly drawn. As I went to sleep that night, I could hear my parents trying to make a decision. My mama encouraged my daddy by reminding him about the opportunities that would come from being able to integrate a public elementary school in the South. The summer went by and the new year came around. I ended up starting the year at my old school. There were many mean people who wanted to keep me away from integrating the school. On November 14th, 1960, I attended William Frantz Elementary School for the very first time. It was a very scary time for me. When I arrived, people were screaming horrible words and protesting my attendance. I was too young to really understand what was going on. Miss Barbara Henry was my teacher that year. I was in a classroom all by myself with Miss Henry, but I didn't mind it. Miss Henry was the nicest teacher I ever had. My whole family was impacted when I integrated that school in New Orleans. My daddy lost his job, and my mama couldn't buy groceries anywhere. Even my grandparents lost the rights to remain sharecroppers on the land which they had for decades. Although the first few years at William Frantz were tense and sometimes dangerous, it was worth it. I graduated from a desegregated Francis T. Nichols High School. After high school, I attended business school and worked for American Express as a travel agent. I married my husband Malcolm Hall in 1984, and we had 4 sons. I have advocated for equality throughout my entire life. In 1999, I established the Ruby Bridges Foundation. My foundation is centered around the goal of promoting respect and equal treatment to all races and for all differences. I still live in New Orleans today with Malcolm. I enjoy going to different schools around the country to promote equality through education. So the object that I got to represent Ruby Bridges are these books. And the books obviously represent how she integrated the public school system, but they also represent today how she continues to advocate for equality in the education system around America. And then my text infographic. So for my nonfiction book, I have the autobiographical account of how Ruby Bridges, the experiences that she went through. For the fiction book, this is called The Lions of Little Rock. And this is a story about, a fictional story about integrating a school in the South. The biography is a children's book that kind of goes through the experiences that Ruby had. And then the poetry is a poem by Carol Oakes. And she wrote this poem in tribute to Ruby Bridges. And then my last book, which was the book that I could choose, I chose Warriors Don't Cry. And this actually tells the story of the Little Rock Nine. And it goes through their experiences. But in that book, the author Melba Pattillo actually mentions and references Ruby Bridges and her bravery and courage in the elementary school. As she was integrating Central High School, Ruby Bridges was at the same time integrating William Frantz Elementary School.